Good morning and welcome to Wholesome Roots. Today I want to welcome you to another edition of Forage Friday. Today's spotlight is going to be Plantago, or otherwise known as Plantain. And no, I'm not talking about the hard green banana that we like to get at the Jamaican restaurant or the Cuban restaurant, but this is a different one. This is a weed that grows wild in our yards, on the roadside ditches, all across the United States and Europe. There are some very easy ways to identify plantain. I'm going to focus today on just two of the species. There are over 200 species of plantain. I'm going to focus on Plantago major and Plantago lanceolata, otherwise known as broadleaf and narrowleaf plantain. The broadleaf is the more common one, so we'll start there. Broadleaf plantain has a very smooth glossiness to it. The leaf is oval shaped, and it can be anywhere from egg shaped to perfectly round sometimes, and it can sometimes have a slight elongation to it, but usually it stays pretty close to that egg shape. One of the distinguishing characteristics between it and Plantago lanceolata is that it has a different bloom on it as well. The bloom on the Plantago major, or broadleaf common plantain, is elongated. It has many blooms along the stem. These blooms are very insignificant. Hardly ever are you going to see it. In fact, I had a great deal of difficulty trying to capture it on the camera. So it is a very, very tiny, tiny flower along these little green bumps along the stem. So you're going to see the green bumps more than you're going to see the actual white flower that develops from it. Those green bumps are going to turn brown as the seed develops after the bloom has fallen off. Those seeds are edible. The blooms are edible. The leaves are edible. The entire plant is an edible plant. So that applies the same to both varieties. So on lanceolata, you're going to have a more narrow leaf, and it has a bit more hairs to it as well. And it is long and narrow. They both grow from a rosette. The broadleaf has a nice purple or reddish tone at the base of the rosette where it comes out of the ground. And the lanceolata has a very short bloom. The bloom is small, and many people use them to pop and shoot at each other. Lots of people know it by that and don't even know the medicinal and edible benefits of it. The leaves can be cut up into salad. They can be stir-fried into a sauteed greens. They can be added to soups. They can be made into dried teas. There are so many benefits to these plants. They're both used interchangeably, so everything that I talk about for edible use is applied for both of them. One of the key characteristics for identifying the plantain is that there are going to be 5 to 7 veins running narrow up the sides of the leaves. You can take those veins and peel them right off because they are stringy and fibrous. Those stringy fibrous veins are key to characterizing this identification. So as I said, they can be eaten raw. Usually the young spring greens are the best eaten raw because they don't have as much string to them. If you want to eat the older greens, they're perfectly safe and edible as well. You can peel those veins out if you want to, or just cut it up with scissors against the vein. That's what I've done in the past, and I didn't even notice the strings in it once I did that. You can also gather these leaves and dehydrate them for future use. They can be used to make just a healthy tea, or you can even add them to your bath as an anti-inflammatory. They have anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antibacterial properties. They're very high in vitamins and nutrition, and they are just all-around healthy food. If you have a lot of plantain seed, you can even use them as an alternative flour. You can roast the seeds and grind them into a flour and add them to other flour mixes if you're trying to go gluten-free. Another thing that you can do with the leaves is you can make it into a salve. You can take that plantain leaf, fresh harvested, take about a pound of it in a cup of good oil, some coconut oil or good olive oil, and slightly lowly simmer it until the oil has turned green and the leaves are cooked down. And then you strain it out, and that oil can be used as a salve or as a moisturizer in many, many beneficial ways. Another great benefit of plantain is something that I grew up doing as a child. And that is, if you get stung by a bee or a wasp or even just a mosquito or a tick, you can take that leaf, chew on it, put it on that bite, and you're going to have instant relief. It can also be used to draw out things, like if you have something like a boil or a splinter, you can apply that poultice chewed up with your saliva is the best way to do it, because saliva activates the active ingredients, but you can just mix it with water as well. You apply that to your wound. It can be used for scratches and scrapes as well, rashes like poison ivy, all of these things it can help. And you just let it sit there. It's a great drawing. It draws out any poisons, it draws out any splinters, so it's very beneficial for that use as well. It's also used as an anti-diarrheal and numerous other health benefits, including kidney stones and flus and bronchitis and many other uses. So as you can tell, plantain is a good one to have in your yard. Make sure that if you harvest it from your yard, you're not using any herbicides or pesticides in your yard. Well, I think that about covers everything that I can think of at the moment for plantain. I'm sure there's more. I encourage you to research it further. I hope that you've enjoyed this Foraging Friday edition with Plantago as our spotlight. Please come back and watch more. If you're enjoying our videos, make sure you hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button that you've already hit, and make sure that you get notifications every time we publish a new video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time on Wholesome Roots.